Greetings, beloved Princeton United Methodist Church community. It's Pastor Jenny here, and I'm reading from Luke chapter 14, verse 27. Whoever does not carry the cross and follow me cannot be a disciple. This is the word of life. Thanks be to God. So this is a challenging verse, is it not? And yet we are people who who call ourselves Christians, who call ourselves Christ followers. But following Jesus is not easy. It is not easy for a whole lot of reasons. It's not easy because of some of the things that Jesus himself says, but it's also not easy because of some of the ways that we find ourselves challenged in our day-to-day lives in the world. Sometimes it can mean that we are valuing something different than we find others around us valuing, or we find that we are in awkward positions sometimes trying to help people understand why we go to church or why we follow Jesus or why we're standing up for this thing, this person, the underdog, we're on the side of justice. Sometimes it's really lonely to be a follower of Jesus in a world that is more and more and more secular. We live in a world that might recognize ideas about the kingdom of God, but Jesus invites us to live into, to build, to value the same kinds of things that this kingdom of God, this upside down, inside out vision of the world, reality of the world that Jesus proclaims and invites us into, that becomes our vision. Whereas in the world, that vision gets a lot more scattered. In our baptism, we are given a new identity as a child of God, as the first and the foremost, the most crucial, the most core identity that we have. And yet we live in a world that is often trying to help us find our identities in some ways that are really helpful, but also some ways that are really not, that really pull us away from that identity that we find in our baptism. Beloved, child of God, one who is created for joy, for love. We in the church, as we follow Jesus, we operate in this economy of grace, one where God's love is the greatest power in the universe, and yet we hear and we feel the pulls and the tugs of all sorts of other powers, all sorts of other economies that are out there in the world. It can be hard, it can be challenging, it can be lonely, it can be awkward being a follower of Jesus. So as we kick off the fall, our fall program year, our new program year, the fall kickoff this Sunday, we're also entering into a new worship series called Against the Grain, where we are talking about what we do, how we act, how we value, what we prioritize as followers of Jesus. As hard as that can be in itself, like picking up a cross and following Jesus with it is hard. And it becomes even harder when we when we interact with the world around us. We often can feel like we are moving against the grain rather than with it. And that can be challenging. So we're also going to be talking about the encouragement that we find from one another, how much we need one another to be followers of Jesus. We cannot do this alone, and we aren't doing it alone. We never do it alone. And so I invite you to come with us over these next few weeks as we look more deeply at this. And for this moment today, I wonder how you have experienced some of what I'm talking about. I wonder if you've had those moments that have been awkward or challenging or have been lonely. Maybe you've even lost a friend, or there have been distance in your family or somewhere else because you have chosen to be a follower of Jesus, and others around you don't understand that, or follow Jesus differently, or there's been some way that you have felt like you've had to make a hard decision, a challenging one, to do this following of Jesus thing. I wonder how you would lift that up to God today. I wonder how you would share that with another person who's on this journey with you today or over these next few days. But even more, I invite you to church. I invite you to church in person, online. If you are online, I have a favor to ask of you. If you would tell us by checking in through Facebook, through letting us know through email, through signing in through the Connect cards, some way to tell us that you're worshiping with us online, that would be such a gift to us and hopefully to you too, as we're able to engage with you more. But come to church, whether you're in person, online. We have backpack blessings or a work bag or whatever blessing needs blessing this week. School begins, as a new year begins. All of our programming kicks off again this week. Youth group, children's programming, choirs of all sorts, and small groups. We have new small groups that are starting this fall. A short-term group that's about 6 weeks long, but some other groups that are meeting for longer and for the whole program year. I'm going to be co-leading one of those groups. I hope that you will find one. You're invited to mine, but you're invited to any of them to come and not be alone in this journey, to journey with one another, to study, to learn, but to be encouraged and to know that we are truly in this together. So friends, it is always a joy to be on this journey with you. I have a couple other things that I want to make sure that I note. It's nominations time right now. There's a nominations form here. So if you have somebody in mind that would be a great fit for our leadership board, our discipleship board, our nominations and lay leadership team, there's a form in this email that you can click on and give your nominations. That way you can self-nominate if this is something that you are interested in for yourself. That is wonderful. There are sign-ups for those small groups. There are ways that you can get registered for all the different programs that are coming off and kicking off. And we have a picnic coming up in a couple of weeks on the 17th, a newcomers group kicking off on the 24th. Many good things that will continue to breathe life and joy and energy into our community, and you are a big part of that. You make a difference when you are here among us. It is, remember that you are enough because God is enough. Remember that you are created for joy, and I will see you soon. Blessings and blessings.